Port of Spain isn't just a Caribbean capital. It's a city that bends geography, rewrites history, and refuses to make sense. So buckle up, because these 30 facts will change the way you see this place forever. Fact 30. A city built on the dead. Literally, Port of Spain stands on an ancient Amerindian burial ground the Spanish flattened for their first settlement. During restoration under the Red House, archaeologists uncovered skulls, tools, beads, and entire burial circles. Workers say the soil still carries bone fragments mixed into its foundations. A modern Caribbean capital sitting quietly on a cemetery that history tried to erase. Fact 29. A river that once cut through downtown until humans moved it. The St. Anne's River originally sliced across the city like a natural spine. Floods became so violent, the Spanish redirected the entire river in 1787 by hand. Its old path still hides beneath grates and drainage lines people walk over every day. A capital that literally changed geography to stay alive. Fact 28. A swamp that bleeds red every sunset. Over 15,000 Scarlet Ibis return to Caroni Swamp in a crimson tidal wave. Their wings paint the sky like liquid fire drifting across the dusk. Many fly to Venezuela and back daily, crossing an international border like it's nothing. The Caribbean's most dramatic sky show happens right next door to the city. Fact 27. Mountains older than time, but a range that's practically a baby. The rocks of the northern range are 300 million years old, older than dinosaurs. But the twist? The mountain range itself only formed about 4 million years ago. Tectonic plates collided and pushed ancient stone upward into a newborn ridge. Old bones inside young mountains. Fact 26. A harbor that links two worlds. Venezuela sits just 11 miles across the Gulf of Paria, close enough to see on a clear day. This channel connects the Caribbean Sea to the vast Atlantic like a hidden marine highway. Columbus likely glimpsed South America here for the first time. Two continents, separated by a strip of shimmering blue. Fact 25. Floods that appear and disappear like magic. Heavy rain can turn Port of Spain streets into rushing rivers in minutes. Water races across asphalt like a flash flood city. But the twist? Within hours, everything drains, leaving barely a puddle behind. A capital known for sudden floods and even quicker recoveries. Fact 24. 7 mansions, 7 nations, 1 unbelievable street. The Magnificent Seven look like they were teleported from different countries. A Scottish castle, a Moorish palace, a French chateau, each with its own kingdom soul. Architects from around the world left their signatures on Queen's Park Savannah. 1 road, 7 worlds stitched together. Fact 23. The world's most mysterious flavor comes from here. Angostura Bitters, used in bars from Tokyo to New York, is created only in Port of Spain. Its recipe is one of the most heavily guarded secrets on Earth. During production days, the city carries a spicy herbal aroma in the air, a global taste born from a single Caribbean laboratory. Fact 22. A park bigger than entire Caribbean towns. Queen's Park Savannah stretches across 260 acres of prime city land. It's the largest roundabout on the planet and the beating heart of Trinidadian culture. Carnival erupts here every year with sound, heat, and impossible energy. A simple field turned into a national epicenter.
Fact 21. 3 religions, 1 street, 0 conflict. Port of Spain places churches, temples, and mosques right beside one another. Christian hymns mix with Hindu bells and the call to prayer in the same neighborhoods. Diwali lights glow beside Christmas decorations and Eid meals. A city where geography mirrors unity. Fact 20. A mountain range still growing right now. The northern range rises about 0.2 millimeters every year. Pressure from colliding plates keeps lifting the land upward. The eastern side climbs faster, creating a quiet geological imbalance. A mountain being born in slow motion. Fact 19. A swamp that works like a giant kidney. Caroni Swamp cleans water from 15 rivers before it enters the Gulf. Mangroves trap pollutants, metals, and sewage in their tangled roots. This natural filtering system protects marine life across the entire coast, a living organ built by nature itself.
Fact 18. The ground beneath the city moves. Parts of Port of Spain sit on reclaimed land that subtly rises and sinks after heavy rain or tidal shifts. GPS sensors record these movements, tiny tremors, just a few millimeters, yet consistent enough to map. To geologists, it looks like the soil is breathing in slow motion, a city resting on living, shifting earth, almost alive beneath your feet. Fact 17. A capital inside a bird superhighway. Over 190 migrating bird species cut directly across Port of Spain every year. Hawks, spoonbills, herons, and entire flocks of ibis. Rare and endangered species glide across the city's rooftops, crossing highways, cranes, and office towers like it's nothing. The Caroni Swamp blends into the urban skyline, merging wildlife flight paths with man-made airspace. An entire sky ecosystem stitched directly into the capital. Fact 16. A harbor with layered water, like a cocktail. Fresh water from rivers floats above the salty Gulf of Paria, creating invisible stacked layers. Each layer has its own temperature, clarity, and microscopic life, almost like multiple oceans occupying the same space. Fish migrate between layers as if switching between parallel worlds. A harbor shaped like a natural cocktail glass, mixed by currents and gravity. Fact 15. A parliament that has lived 3 different lives. The iconic Red House wasn't built once, it was reborn 3 separate times. First in 1844, then reconstructed after the devastating 1903 fire, and finally restored in the modern era, standing on land that once held ancient Amerindian burial grounds. One building layered with centuries of destruction, rebuilding, and rebirth. Fact 14. When December arrives, the weather breaks character. Every Christmas season, strange winds sweep across Port of Spain like a Caribbean cold front. Temperatures drop, the air turns crisp. The northern range suddenly wears fast-moving clouds like a scarf. Locals call it the Christmas breeze, a rare tropical winter cameo that rewrites the mood of the whole city. Fact 13. A swamp that manufactures its own clouds. The mangroves of Caroni Swamp pump huge amounts of moisture into the sky through evapotranspiration. That moisture rises, gathers, and forms miniature rain clouds, born straight out of the swamp. Some drift toward the city and unleash sudden showers, a wetland that literally engineers its own weather system. Fact 12. A capital built where water shouldn't exist. Port of Spain has 0 natural rivers, springs, or freshwater sources. Not one. All water comes from distant reservoirs and pipelines pushed over hills and mountains. A city that survives purely on imported water and rainfall, thriving where nature didn't plan for it. Fact 11. A mountain hiding an entire underworld. Beneath the Laventil Hills lies a labyrinth of twisting limestone caves. Inside are blind fish, strange insects, glistening mineral formations, and massive bat colonies echoing through the dark. Some caverns are so large they could fit multi-story buildings, a silent, unseen underworld right below daily life. Fact 10. Where ships appear, vanish, and levitate. Superior mirages bend light across the Gulf of Paria, making boats hover in midair. Some flip upside down. Others disappear entirely. It's not magic, it's atmospheric distortion behaving like a glitch in reality. A harbor where physics goes off script. Fact 9. Carnival that shakes the earth, literally. Tens of thousands of masqueraders dance in perfect waves. The collective impact is so strong that seismic monitors pick up micro vibrations during major events. The city doesn't just celebrate, it pulses, vibrating with the rhythm of people and music like a living heartbeat. Fact 8. A swamp that stores more carbon than a rainforest. Caroni's mangroves trap up to 15 times more carbon per hectare than parts of the Amazon. Oxygen-poor mud keeps organic matter preserved for centuries.
Layers of ancient carbon lie buried beneath the roots like underground vaults, a massive climate stabilizer quietly protecting the world beside the capital. Fact 7. Houses that grow on top of older houses. Many homes rise on stilts built above the structures of earlier generations. Each decade adds new floors, new staircases, new walkways, stacked like chapters in a family history. Bridges connect these elevated neighborhoods like suspended pathways in the sky. Architecture that evolves as families grow.
Fact 6. A natural hurricane shield protecting millions. The Gulf of Paria isn't just water, it's a defensive wall shaped by nature itself. Stretching between Trinidad's west coast and Venezuela's mainland, the Gulf forms a protective bowl, wide, shallow, and perfectly positioned to break apart approaching storms. Hurricanes moving through the Caribbean lose their symmetry the moment they interact with this region. Wind energy fractures, circulation breaks, ocean temperatures dip just enough to starve the storm of strength. It's like nature designed a built-in brake system. And the landforms on both sides, Trinidad's mountains and the Venezuelan coast, work together like two giant hands that push storms away from the city. Most major systems weaken before they ever get a chance to strike. A natural fortress carved from water, rock, and geography, silently protecting millions of people without them ever realizing it. Fact 5. A mountain range slowly tearing itself open. High above Port of Spain, the northern range stands like a sleeping giant, but it's not as still as it looks. Deep inside, a fault line runs like a scar, splitting the range into two drifting halves. The movement is tiny, just millimeters each year, but constant. One side of the mountains creeps north, the other quietly shifts south. Over decades, over centuries, over millennia, this creates what scientists call the zipper effect. A mountain range unzipping itself piece by piece, slowly revealing the forces that shaped it. This is geology in slow motion, too slow for human eyes, but powerful enough to reshape landscapes. And every time the Earth sighs or shifts beneath Port of Spain, it's a reminder that the ground we trust is constantly rewriting its own story. Fact 4. Trees that drink salt water like wine. Along the edges of the Caroni Swamp, something extraordinary happens. Trees do the impossible. Mangroves, with their twisted roots and stilt-like legs, drink salt water and survive. They perform a natural version of reverse osmosis, filtering the salt at their roots, turning ocean water into fresh water inside their tissues. The excess salt is pushed into special leaves, which eventually turn yellow and fall. Little salt-filled packets drifting across the swamp like tropical snowflakes. These trees don't just survive harsh conditions, they master them. They reshape coastlines, protect against erosion, and create nurseries for hundreds of species. They are living water filters, storm shields, and ecosystems all at once. An entire forest of survivors drinking seawater like fine wine. Fact 3. A waterfront standing on floating ground. Much of Port of Spain's coastline wasn't originally coastline at all. It was ocean. The waterfront exists because humans built it, layer by layer, on reclaimed land pulled straight from the sea. Engineers drilled enormous concrete piles deep into soft earth, structures designed not to hold still but to flex. This flexibility is intentional. During earthquakes, buildings gently sway with the earth instead of cracking against it. Sidewalks shift, foundations breathe. The waterfront moves like it's alive. Standing there, you're standing on a man-made platform held up by pillars that behave more like springs than stone. A floating foundation supporting a modern skyline, the perfect blend of engineering and ambition. Fact 2. A harbor that changes color with the seasons. The Gulf of Paria has moods, real moods. In the dry season, sunlight pierces the shallow waters, turning them a clean, radiant sapphire blue. Then the rains arrive, and everything transforms. Sediment-rich rivers pour their contents into the Gulf, painting the water in emerald green, cloudy turquoise, silver gray, even streaks of brown and gold. Microscopic life blooms and shifts with temperature and rainfall. Winds stir up nutrients from the seafloor. Light bends differently through each layer. The same harbor can look like 5 different oceans in a single year. A natural color-changing canvas, alive, fluid, and always surprising. Fact 1. A city that rewrites the laws of geography. Few capitals on Earth break the rules the way Port of Spain does. Beneath Parliament lie ancient Amerindian burial grounds, centuries of history layered under modern politics. Above the skyscrapers, bird migrations streak the sky like airborne highways, connecting continents right over the city. To the north, mountains slowly pull apart. To the west, the Gulf shifts color like a living painting. To the south, reclaimed land breathes and bends with every storm and tide. And everywhere in between, the earth moves, the water changes, and nature continues writing chapters faster than humans can record them. Port of Spain is not a city frozen in time. It is a place in constant motion, a meeting point between the ancient, the modern, and the unexplained. From red skies to breathing earth, from mountains that open themselves to seas that shift like moods. Port of Spain is not just a capital, it is a living experiment. A crossroads where nature bends, humans adapt, and the Caribbean quietly rewrites the rules of reality. This is not geography, this is evolution happening in real time.